thorough job of looking into what really transpired there, and you know, made a resolution with DeMarcus in terms of you know, how we're going to go forward, and that's what we're going to do.
So the team's decision was that Dante wasn't responsible, just not to the point where there was action taken against him?
Well, the information, I did, you know, talked to a lot of people that were either eyewitness to the entire sequence of events or people that saw most of it. And in terms of, you know, any discipline to Dante, I just concluded that it wasn't appropriate.
How is DeMarcus's reaction to what's been done?
Well, we met for about an hour and a half today, in my office, and talked this through, and obviously it went on beyond into any number of other areas. But I think it's again, it's an appropriate resolution of what happened, and I think now we're going to go forward and hopefully watch him continue to improve and watch him become a better pro and more aware of how to channel himself when he's confronted with certain types of situations, and hopefully enjoy watching him grow into a terrific player.
Has he been given any ultimatums or told that this can't happen, this kind of thing can't happen again?
Well, I don't know if ultimatum is the right word. I just think by the nature of an event like this, that it certainly should be, whatever you want to call it, a teaching moment or something to file away for future reference to learn from. And it's certainly important for his career, not only as a player but as a professional, to take something positive out of this. And he is still 20 years old, but there are certain standards that that we have and the league has, and I think it's important that he understands that and learns from it.
Geoff, did his track record come into play in terms of the decision you made? I mean, Dante obviously hasn't been involved in anything this year, and DeMarcus has.
Well, I can't say that was a real significant factor. I think, we've talked to the league and looked at and talked to them about certain, similar type of situations and what the resolutions of those were. And I think, what we did was certainly within the boundaries of that. And like I said, I think it was an appropriate resolution.
As rookies go in your career, have you seen this type of attitude play out before?
In terms, what kinds of attitude?
Well, he's been disciplined several times now for his behavior on and off the court.
Well, if you're referring to past fines of some kind, we fine other players too, and this is the first event, to this extent with DeMarcus. And like I say, there's certain standards, and we're going to enforce them.
Geoff, why did you make the decision to take him off the plane as opposed to handling it in Phoenix?
Well, first of all, I didn't have all the information, number one. Number two, sometimes there's still some, you don't know how much remaining tension may be there. It's unknown. I'm down in Austin, Texas, and he's up here in Sacramento. So I think lots of times the safest route, everybody's heard of the 48-hour rule, right? So, and it gives you some time to look at things more objectively. Spur of the moment decisions can be really risky.
Do you think he understands? When you talk to him today, do you think it's sinking in for him, or?
Well, I hope so. I think he was there. I mean, John was there, Bobby and Sharif were there, and like I say, it was at times a very, very heartfelt discussion. So,
Can you talk about the remaining feelings? Are you confident this is over between the two of them?
I think it is. I talked to Dante, and he said, "Hey, I'm past it, and we need him back. We got games to play."
Now that you've reviewed what happened, can you describe, was it a scuffle, a fight, an argument?
I really wish I could, but I think it's over and done with, and we're not going to get into the real specifics of that.
When you talked, you said that the discussion of DeMarcus went in a number of directions today. I'm wondering if maybe this incident, maybe is a manifestation of some pent-up frustration about perceiving that at the end of games, it's always Tyreek, and not so much about the team. Is there any possibility that might have played into it?
I don't know. It really wasn't part of any discussion today. I mean, it's obviously been I think a season of frustration for us, not just with the record, but the number of, essentially, last minute or last second losses or opportunities to win games. But, they're both young players, and we have other young players that are out there. And, I think for the moment, we should probably enjoy the game we won in Phoenix last night.
How do you characterize the chemistry on this team?
What's that?
How do you characterize the chemistry on this team between DeMarcus and Tyreek and everybody else?
I think it's okay. I think it's fine. I mean, obviously, if we weren't, we're still competing. We're obviously still competing. If your team was, really coming apart, that wouldn't be happening. And we've definitely proven that in most games we're good enough to compete, number one. Number two, we're good enough to give ourselves a chance to win in the late in the fourth quarter, but we haven't got to number three.
What led into, you talked about how you talked to the league about situations like this and what typically happens. I mean, is that the main reason you decide not to suspend him going forward? As far as the thought process?
Again, you're collecting a lot of different information and trying to use the resources that are available to you, and they're one of them.
But Geoff, with the fact that DeMarcus is, he's got a temper issue, is there any involvement or suggestion on the part of the organization that he go to anger management counseling or outside therapy? Is he involved in any of that?
He's not currently, no. But I think, again, going forward, if there are things that he needs to consider, that may help in that regard. It's not something that he's actively involved in right now.
He's
Geoff, I think
rejoining the
people-
team now.
What's that?
He's rejoining the team.
Yeah, he should be there, probably around midnight in Oklahoma City tonight.
There are already some people criticizing the move that say that he should be suspended longer. How do you respond to those critics?
Well, I mean, that's the way it always is in something like this. There are the side that says, well, it's not significant enough, and then there's the side that says, well, he did too much. And there's always a level of discretion in these things, and somebody has to decide what that level is, and we feel given the information we have, and again, some what's been done in some other situations similar to this, that's reasonable.
Overall, from a team standpoint, how disappointing is this?
That something like this would happen?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's certainly not something that you want to see happen, but I think it's something that you can move past as a team. Certainly Dante has let it go. I think DeMarcus will let it go. I think the team will be glad to have him back, and we'll see if we can win more games
And will his
the rest of the year.
Will his minutes be affected at all by this?
I have no,
Will he
you're
start?
talking to the wrong guy
Will
about
he
minutes.
start? Will he be starting?
No, I can't answer that.
Geoff, before this incident, could you talk a little bit about what you've seen and how much progress he's made, going back to really the beginning of the season to where he is now, before the outburst the other night? How would you?
Well, I think offensively he's gotten more comfortable. His shooting percentage has come way up from what it was early on. He generally rebounds at a pretty high rate. His decision making still, isn't anywhere near it where it could be given the vision that he has and his ability to pass the ball. But again, we're still talking about a 20-year-old center. It's one of the most difficult, along with point guard, one of the most difficult positions to grow into in the league, and his numbers have improved. So.
One more.
Geoff, the actions, but he and Dante and the way they conducted themselves are one discussion, but on the basketball side, any truth to what it seems like his feeling is when it comes to the frustration? Again, the way you handle your frustration is important, but, that play specifically feeling like, hey, I'm down in the post and we don't need to go to Tyreek every single time. I mean, any part of you that sees where he was
Well,
coming from.
Even in that particular
Even in the
game,
bigger
I mean,
picture.
the ball has to get in bounds, and.
But even the bigger picture, the
and,
theme there.
Well, you're talking about that game, and the ball has to get in bounds. There's nobody that looked at that felt that pass was open to go in there, and Tariq happened to be the guy that was open. So with 5 seconds to go, the most important thing to do is get the ball in bounds.
Geoff, have you been in contact with the Maloofs at all concerning the March 1 deadline and any possibility of moving it?
I'm not involved with any of that, sorry.
Thanks.